All right, ladies and gents, welcome back. It is Tuesday, the 24th of August, 2021. $21 down day, but a little bit to unpack in that. Had some opportunity to have a pretty nice update today, but we'll certainly get into it here. SPY, again, all-time highs. Once again, just can't stop, won't stop. A little bit of a doji here on the daily, though, actually, so this might be a little rollover for at least a few days, maybe. So we're not going to get all-time highs potentially again tomorrow, unfortunately. Other market internals on the day, NASDAQ, super low dollar volume. Still just 2 hours after market close at this point. But again, not even $180 billion volume. NYSE, $240 billion volume. OTC market, just over $2 billion volume. Only two trades for me today. A few more tickers of opportunity out there that I didn't really even look at, I guess I could say, but just doing a better job of understanding what's there and continuing to go hard at what I know I can go hard at least for right now. Other news on data as well. Bitcoin's pulling a little back off of 50,000. We're now at like 48 and change something. There's some NFTs runners moving again. I guess the NFT sector is just crazy hot, like TCAT and DLPN. I remember those. DLPN. From the NFT crazy day, just kind of moving up with the craziness that is the NFT sector as of right now. Some morning dumpers were working out again. That early in the market hours, so this is 7 Eastern time, 4 o'clock time frame. Usually when I was trying to hit it hard in the past kind of start of August or even end of July at those points too, when I was getting up early looking for that type of pattern. CEI is another one here. This is 8:24 time frame. Didn't take a position on this one because just didn't look that great. This is only 13% move in total, and especially it's a sub dollar, so I couldn't short it anyway through trade zero. MITO was another one. No trades on these ones, but they kind of worked out. I'll mention MITO a little bit later too. This was funny. I kind of just randomly saw this when I was pulling it up for a different reason, but that had an opportunity too. And I think there's a lot that are just falling through the cracks that I'm not seeing that produce this type of pattern. Not beautiful really to anybody else, but they are beautiful to the eye of the beholder. So get into the trades today. BPTH was huge former runner and putting in big percentage moves on the day this morning. Again, this is early 21 of this year. I think 2019, not that one. This one. 2019 as well. Huge runner at this time, and then again had a spike early 2021. So looking for any potential craziness today. Really not a morning dump that I was interested in, that type of pattern, because especially too with the super low floats, these 6.9 million float, reported short interest of 2%. Yeah, I just have zero interest in, especially when they're bringing in volume like this one is. American Biotech, for reference as well. Get into this pre-market, and it's just holding, consolidating under VWAP, which is a little bit of a long trap, even though we're getting spikes and fails above and below. It's just holding price action well, failing to ever truly dump. You get another break of this pre-market high a day, but rising VWAP at this point fails to ever break VWAP again during pre-market. Totally dead set and ready to go on this one for the dip and rip. I knew it. I wasn't going to touch it whatsoever in first 10 minutes. Just going to let it do its thing, and that's exactly what these kind of do, rinse and repeat, that they just get these super wicky candles, the indecision of where the buyers are, where the sellers are, if it's going to do something hard immediately off the bat, or if it's just going to wait a little bit. Of course, for how far it is up so far, it's got to come back at least a little bit. Just take some profits for anybody that's bag holding from the pre-market or from earlier trading days. We get that nice sell-off under VWAP right just before 9:55 time frame, which is a normal standard dip and rip time frame that we look for. I was trading this thing on the tick chart. And here are my entry and exit points for that dip and rip setup. And I was even testy at this point of, it's kind of that calm before the storm of what it was doing, that, okay, price is slowing down. It's not the biggest dip for a dip and rip setup. It's not the most amount of pullback that we want to see. Maybe I would like to see a little bit more sell-off, come back to closer around like 7.4, 7.5, maybe just panic out the week longs that were trying to trade for any crazy action right away, and then we get that pile of the shorts coming in, and then you can just squeeze this thing crazy to new high days and huge percentage opportunity in that. But it was just holding well around this 7.8. First entry, I initially just took 50 shares just because I thought the there was a higher probability still that this thing would have faded, and it did. It ended up breaking that low a day, which I knew I should have potentially just had a stop in to get me out immediately, but it didn't, just continue to die off, which kept me in the trade. And at this point, it was still holding. It came right back to that level. Looking at the 1 minute chart, it's not the cleanest once again as a dip and rip pattern to say that this is a consolidation point, but it's certainly not panicking. It's slowing down around this super awesome time frame that we're looking for as a dip and rip setup. So loaded the boat with what I would consider a full-size position, got another 150 shares at this point, and took the ride for a nice move to beyond 10%. As we're getting to this point, this thing went absolutely crazy. And I just always, in the moment, it was insane because this whole move right here was 10 seconds, 15 seconds max, I would say. Like you see this, how wide this bar is here. This is the whole 1 minute. And as soon as we were able to touch and break this high a day region, I had order in to sell. So I'm looking, coming up to A3 area. I'm going, great, awesome. I'll just put an order in at the ask. I'll just take off the whole position because that's where I'm at now on all these types of dip and rip setups. I'm looking for the nail and bail, looking to take that profit opportunity when it's there and just not. I used to want to take half off at this little peak and just play if you just want to continue to go crazy. The probability on those trades are not there at this point. So I just know that I'm cutting my profits in half by taking half of my position off in 10% profit opportunity and then leaving the rest if it wants to go crazy. So anyway, I'm just taking that full position right now at when I see this move happen. So put in an order at, I'm just buying or selling the bid as we're getting here. And it ends up trying to put my order at 8.3. And by the time I press the order, I can see it's already spiked up to 8.6. And then as the order's coming in, now I'm at 8.3, but we're already below 8.3, down to like 8.2, 8.1. Now it's below VWAP, and now I'm barely looking to cancel my order, and now somehow I'm able to get filled when I push sell the bid again. I get 7.75 as it's breaking this low a day. This went from a $160 winner, where I was looking to sell $130 winner if I got 8.3 maybe, to a $16 loss where I had to cut it. Absolutely ludicrous. It totally reminded me of MITO, what I mentioned in the intro. Again, that morning dump I had this morning, but on May 6th, 2021, a little bit of a chart, but again, still big percentage mover in the pre-markets. Sketchy movement on the day. I forget what this actually is, but it doesn't matter anyway. Just big percentage move up on sketchy news. And this huge long trap that just came in out of nowhere. I took a big loss on this one just because I had a big position size. But this just felt so similar in how it was. Of course, you had this like choppy consolidationness around the high days that all the longs were like, sweet, this is going to break out to squeeze all the shorts out. This is going to be an awesome move to the upside. And you finally get that pattern or that shove to new high day and then just pulls the rug out underneath everybody and dumps that thing so hard, quicker than you can blink. And this was the same thing today on BPTH. Even the volume candle too. Look on that one, just how standout-ish. This one is 6 million volume candle compared to everything else. This one was kind of up there, but just absolutely ludicrous. And the same thing on BPTH. It was a 4 million volume candle really out of nowhere that just smacked this thing within the same minute. That blew me away. We've not seen something that fast in a long, long time. And so after that point, I knew in the back of my head, shoulda, coulda, woulda gotten short with how hard that thing rejected, saying there's no way this thing comes back and squeezes hard to the upside as a risk on a short position trade, getting short anywhere around this consolidation. But yeah, shoulda, coulda, woulda on all this. But a nice fade downside trend trade on that one at the end of the day. It's more data in the database. So that was a $16 loss, BPTH. The other ticker I played was PMCB. All I was going to do on this one, of course, was also a big mover 3-4 trading days ago. Had this huge volume day. It is a terrible, sketchy company. I even forget what the news was back on that day. Something stupid, again, doesn't matter. And then they had this huge offering that just totally slammed. Let's see this one. They had a huge offering that totally slammed. This was around the VRPX timeframe too, that everybody was looking for the next VRPX. and there were so many bags, so many longs getting bagged here, and thinking, okay, we got a nice squeeze. I mean, right away in that pre-market, so nobody was getting that opportunity, but then still holding on to this hope, and then they put out that offering, just tank this thing. So this trade was totally based on this trend line from that bottom that it found, and it was just putting in higher lows, getting a nice little trend line put in here. We're constantly grinding higher. So I wasn't looking for anything quick or fast or reversal. This wasn't based on any type of volume or size on the bid, anything like that. I maybe got a little bit too hectic, or not hectic, but jumpy with my entries here at this point. 3.8 in the pre-market became a little bit of a level, and we were testing it decently with a little bit of volume. Again, not crazy mover. Total on the day volume was 16 million, only 9,000 trades. BPTH, by the way, $480 million volume, 310,000 trades. So again, not pretty crazy. Probably because the fade the whole rest of the day, that just totally turns away all of any afternoon speculators trying to bring more dollar volume into that. But PMCB, yeah, really super small position size, only $150 position size. I think I got in just getting kind of random entries. I got one at 3.8 and then had another opportunity here as it was still holding this line. So I got some more like 3.7 and just gave it a little bit, gave it plenty of room. I think 3.65 around there was my cut point to say, it's not going to exactly follow a random line that I draw, but certainly going to give it room if it wants to just bounce for whatever reason. But of course, I think SPY is the only thing that can bounce that hard. That is a trade solely reserved for the S&P 500 spider. But yeah, super small position, $4 loss. I think it cut it when I need to, when the trend was going to happen. Other tickers on the day, SPRT, big Wall Street bets mover once again. So just looking at this from the pre-markets, it had that big day, previous trading day, Monday. Pre-market's looking well enough today. As a short, you're looking at this going, sweet, really nice risk-reward opportunity. We're getting kind of toppy here, double top-ish with this pre-market high and yesterday's high of day. Super easy risk-reward. I could see some sketchy or degenerate shorts saying, yes, that's a nice technical level, but maybe they'll just perk it above that, knowing that everybody else is going to base their trade off of that, just a few cents, and then dump it back under. So I could see some people potentially, even from like a spike, going all the way to 12.6, a whole dollar, beyond a dollar, getting degenerate and thinking, okay, that's got to be the peak here, and still holding at this point, but then just gets a try under VWAP, bought up once again. Looks nice as a short that it's now dumping after failing to get a new high of day, still consolidating, curling back up to VWAP, and then you just get this continual rip up 14.5, continually hitting 14.7. Now VWAP test again, bouncing off of VWAP, pulling back under VWAP, and now fading the rest of the day. Crazy one in the morning to watch as it shorts. So like I said, yeah, trying to place myself in all the perspectives and paradigms of both sides, looking to try and trade this ticker today with the volume that of course comes in on it. You've got that nice technical level. It's in an uptrend totally on this daily, just where it's at as of right now too. So the trend is up. But as we're getting so much more vertical, of course, then it looks more enticing as a short. And then you're saying, okay, sweet, we've got these technical levels to base ourselves off of. But then really as you're getting when you're in this uptrend with no other technical levels to go off of, resistance levels to say, then you've really just got to base yourself off of the whole dollar level. So now it becomes, okay, I'll risk it at 12. Okay, if it hits 12.50, okay, man, if it hits 14, then I'll definitely cut it. Man, if it hits 15, then I'll definitely cut it. So that where becomes the enticing factor when we're getting so parabolic on these ones. And this is more useful in the crazy hot markets when shorts are just getting totally blown out of the water. But that's totally what played out on this one, this crazy mover. It was even from the get-go, from straight out of the morning bell, this was a pretty wide wedge. It was still defining its way of where it wanted to go. Bidders still lining up, sellers still saying where they wanted price to be at that point. But then you just get the huge squeeze to the upside. Huge opportunity. Did not play it still. I'm still at the point of, even coming from the 2020 market where I started my learning session, I'm still learning from these. I'm sitting back and watching and have zero clue of how to play these. There's just so many factors going into it. It just absolutely boggles the mind. But the volatility and the price opportunity is certainly there. It's good to see that's coming back around a little bit at least. PXLW, didn't take this trade again, but certainly learning from the charts that are being offered right now. Parabolic last few days here with volume. We're above any recent technical levels here. It's just a choppy, crazy, terrible stock. You get this kind of rollover first red day high that's gapping down from the previous trading day's close. So this becomes a shorting opportunity. But anybody trying to short directly out of the market open gets quickly reversed back to VWAP. You're shorting when it's already pretty decent ways away from VWAP, which is a bad entry point anyway. So any early people are getting squeezed and moved up. And then this becomes a short into a bounce with a nice risk opportunity of this pre-market high of day, of the relative high of day, market hours. I think a few other red names in the chat were playing this one as well after this huge pullback and slap down this huge volume candle here. You can see when it gets slapped down immediately from that, not slapped down all the way to VWAP, but certainly slapped off of continuing on higher for any new breakout opportunity. But then it was just didn't want to completely die. Didn't even come close to touching or falling through VWAP, and then just looked a little bit sketchy back to the upside again, and then pull back once more. So it's just not clean. It's not user-friendly, to say it that way, of trying to put it in computer terms, that this market's not here just to give out free money every single day. You got to actually work for it. And certainly you got to take the headache and the risk management tolerance in order to make these types of plays on that one. NAKD also moving on the day. Once again, the memer city. This one, you can call this a little bit of an intraday runner. You know, same thing that had the big spike this Friday before the weekend, held those levels well, this, you know, $0.50, 55-cent level. But who said it was going to happen today? Who said a short squeeze is going to happen more today? I mean, you're just kind of guessing at this point. As it's holding well here, as it's testing this breakout level here, I mean, those are good entry points as well, too, if I was watching this thing with volume. But again, where do you set your levels of what you think it's going to go to, or how far you think it's going to go in this month of August, where we've got no data or no other tickers to base this off of? If you're degenerate and, man, you lucked out, man, volume came in to save you with how quickly this thing squoze to the upside. But just more to take into the database that you can't ever fully understand it, but you got to play what you're dealt. Awesome move to the upside, getting that short squeeze, new high day tests here. Choppiness on the downside, selling off, and still confusion as it's going into close. So we'll keep that on watch for the next few days. Another type of intradaily one that I did not see until Price Tui mentioned that he was trading this one. Kind of an intradaily again. I didn't even see this crazy day that it had on last week Friday, again, where it was just halting crazy to the upside, moving huge percentages, going from 6 to 26.7, ludicrous. Fade off day, you get a halt here again on this day too, but just not insane volume compared to what it did on that Friday. Just selling off here again, kind of a little bit of spiking opportunity, maybe call it a first green day on this one. Looking from the daily as well too, maybe call it a first green day bounce type of play. But it just failed to continue to push higher, and then it just kind of faded off. And now to get after hours, I did not see this one after hours, but Bryce Tui mentioned as he's watching this, it wasn't like this was a pure technical move in a sense. It was almost as if it was manipulated, in which the ask was just continually getting taken away. Somehow they're manipulating this thing to just continually move up and up and up. But it was so low volume, and it's not as if bidders were stepping in to push this thing higher for some reason. Just interesting stock to take note of. Sketchy, it's not, I don't feel comfortable yet in my personality in trading these types of trades, but certainly looking at the daily as well too, it's still a little bit of an intra-daily holder. That certainly was this after hours, but even with this after hours move, I think it still has potential to do something crazy. Maybe next few days, maybe 2-3 days, if it wants to shop around here the next few days and do something. Volume's got to be there, though, and certainly the right risk level's got to be there for me, too, for just how choppy and sometimes how doji, lackluster this ticker can get. But certainly, again, like I said, got to take notice of all of them. So that was it for me on the day. $20 little down day. Shoulda, coulda, woulda been a really nice pattern to the week for the P&L, but that's just got to take your lumps. And I look back at BPTH and say, okay, yeah, maybe I should have had a limit order in beforehand combined with a stop order in, link those orders through the active trader window on my TD Ameritrade, saying I know I was looking for 8.5 or maybe just a break of high day quick, looking to sell into that. Why would I not just have the limit order in? This is a good test of that too. I think this is a 1 out of 50 type of dip and rip patterns that this happens on, maybe 1 out of 100 for how quick this price action is, that this volume just comes in out of nowhere and just slams this thing down for some reason. But I certainly may try it. It's certainly not going to hurt me having limit orders in where I want to sell, especially if it's just going to move so quickly and I have zero time to think. And then by the time I'm already not thinking, trying to get out, it's already below my previous exit somehow. Insane volatility. But great learning lessons all around the board. Thank you guys for watching. I also want to thank our sponsor for today's video. It is Uncrustables by Smucker's, the sandwich that can't be crusted. You can try, you can succeed, but you will never win in the end. We are Uncrustables. Thank you guys for watching. We will catch you guys tomorrow.